It started the same way every time: rain against the window, the faint hum of an old ceiling fan, and that slow, soft light you only see at the edge of dawn. He'd wake up sitting on the edge of his bed, barefoot, unsure how long he'd been there. And then, like clockwork, there she was. Not walking in, not appearing out of thin air. Just existing, leaning against the doorway with that quiet little smile. Wearing the same white cotton dress, hair falling the same way it always did, as if the laws of the world bent just to keep her perfect. He didn't know her name, not at first, but somehow, she knew his. She'd say it innocently, like it had always been hers to keep. And every time, it landed in his chest like an anchor thrown into deep water. It wasn't love at first sight, not exactly. It was more like recognition, like he'd been walking his whole life, lost, only to turn a corner and find a familiar street he didn't even know he'd been searching for. They'd walk together, sometimes to the park down the street, sometimes through silent city blocks, all the colors muted like an old Polaroid. She'd laugh at little things: the crooked fence, the barking dog, the way his sneakers squeaked when they got wet. But the strangest thing, no one ever looked at them, not once. In every crowd, every diner, every passing train, it was just the two of them. The first time he tried to ask her why, she just shook her head. "Don't ruin it," she said, like it was a fragile bubble that would pop if he pressed too hard. So he didn't. Days bled together. He didn't notice at first, but he wore the same shirt every time. She always had the same dress. The trees never lost leaves. The sunset never moved past that orange glow that felt like summer's last hour. The first crack in the dream came quietly. She forgot his name, just for a second. She looked at him like a stranger might, curious, polite, and then it was gone. Like a skipping record snapping back into rhythm. He laughed it off, but something in him knew. The next time, the park bench was gone. The time after that, the city street had turned into a dirt path. And in the one after that, it began to rain harder. She kept walking, smiling, but wouldn't talk. She just held his hand like she was leading him somewhere. He asked, "Where are we going?" She didn't answer. Eventually, he realized the loop wasn't just repeating, it was unraveling. The edges of the world started to fade, replaced by fog and empty white space, people's faces blurred. Even her touch felt colder, like she was moving further away even as she stood right in front of him. One morning, he woke up in the dream and she wasn't there. He searched. Down the streets, through the park, into that part of the city where the street lamps flicker and you can hear your own footsteps echo for miles. Nothing. He sat on the curb, head in his hands, heart pounding like it knew the truth before his brain did, and then he heard her voice. Soft, calling his name from somewhere he couldn't see. He ran toward it, through the fog, past what was left of the dream. And there she was, standing on a porch he didn't recognize. Behind her, a door that seemed to hum like an old guitar string. She looked at him the way people look when they're about to leave, not sad, just resigned. "This is the last one," she said quietly. "What?" "The last time. You won't see me here again." He tried to speak, but his throat caught. She stepped forward, placed her hand against his cheek, and smiled like she'd known him in another life, maybe all of them. "You kept me alive a little longer," she whispered. "That's all I needed," and without another word, she stepped backwards through the door. He reached out, but it closed before he touched it. The next time he opened his eyes, he was awake. The rain was real this time. The hum of the ceiling fan, the smell of coffee drifting from the kitchen. Everything normal, except the quiet in his chest where her voice used to echo. For weeks, he moved through his days like a man half there. He'd spot white dresses in the crowd and feel the sharp pull of memory that wasn't really a memory. Sometimes, just before sleep, he'd think he heard her laugh again, but it'd fade before he could hold onto it. One night, staring at the ceiling, he realized something. Maybe she wasn't from his dream at all. Maybe he was from hers, and when she finally woke up, he was the one who disappeared.